Pleasance Valley Iris Farm. I'm Mark. My wife's doing the camera back there. We're going to show you today how to hybridize irises together. And I got my little handy tools here. I've got some Avery labels, probably a half dozen ways you could do this, but I've got Avery labels here. This is 5520s. You peel them off. They're waterproof. They're kind of good. They're almost like made out of a vinyl. So it's kind of nice to have those. And I stick them on just a gallon milk jug that I cut up into little squares there. And then I took a hole punch and punched it through there. And I have some twisty ties that we bought. So you got these handy little labels you can make when you actually do the hybridizing. You want to mark them so you can keep track of what you've done. And got my scissors, got my hole punch, and I got my knee highs. I'll show you what these are for later. Okay, so today we're going to cross two together. You can pick any ones you want. And I'm going to use Batik here as the pollen parent, and we're going to do conjuration as the seed parent. So there's two. There's the pollen parent and the seed parent. The seed parent is the one that's going to actually create the seed pod and have the seeds in it. Pollen parent is the one you're going to take the what they call the anther from, and I'll show you how to do that. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do it. Sometimes they'll reach in, and I don't know if you can see it, but right in here, that right there, that little thing that's sticking up with the pollen on it is called an anther. Okay, maybe you can see that. I've moved the flowers away so you can actually see it. They'll take tweezers and they'll pull this out and they'll hold it, and I'll show you where we're going to put this, but it's got pollen on the inside of it. Now when you're taking a look at this here, you want to get a flower that just opened up or recently opened up before it's gotten wet or anything else, and make sure it has some pollen on it. And you can kind of move these around and take a look at them until you find a flower that's actually got some pollen on it. A lot of times, that's my peacock. He wants to get in the video too. Is a lot of times there's pollen that gets caked on and it's hard to get the pollen off. Okay, but find something that's got some good pollen on it. You'll peel it back and you'll see in there that it's got if it's got a good nice dusting on it, that's a perfect one to use. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take a flower here, and we're going to create what I call my pollination tool. Okay, so you've got, here's the flower, and I pull off, and like I said, you could use tweezers to pull those anthers out, or you can make yourself a little handy tool. You pull off these three, then you pull out these three, and then what I do is I take this and I kind of move it around and pull it off, and pull it around, pull it off, pull it around, and pull it off. You see the handy little tool I got? This is kind of cool. It's got three little anthers there with lots of pollen on it. So we're going to take it over here and go to conjuration, and I'll show you what we're going to do. This is conjuration here. Now what I do is I'll pull off the flowers again, three of them, the petals, and pull off these three, but you don't pull off the last three, okay? And this is called a stigmatic lip. The wind's kind of blowing here, so it's kind of difficult to see probably, but this is called a stigmatic lip, and it's actually two pieces. You can see when you open it up, it's two pieces. And if you can see in there, it's kind of sparkly and a little bit wet, and that's what you want. And right there, if you hold this back, you can get on there. It'd be nice to have three hands. But you take this and you can actually get the pollen down inside there. You see the pollen on it? I don't know if you can see that, but there's pollen all over there now. You can get it in there and you just go around and do that. And that one's done, just like that. Or you can take another one and you can open it up and you can actually stick it down inside there and get the pollen around in there, and then leave it in there and actually pop it off and leave it in there, and that'll pollinate it too. So what you're going to have now is Batik is the pollen parent, And this conjuration is the seed parent. So once that's done like that, you want to name it, and we'll put on our little name tag here. I'm not going to name it right now because you guys know what it's going to look like, but it's got Batik is the pollen parent, and conjuration is the seed parent. Seed parent name comes first, so it's going to say on there conjuration cross Batik. Okay, seed parent comes first. The one that's actually going to have the seed pod comes first. Conjuration cross Batik. Take it, put this up here. Well, actually, here, I'm going to show you something else too. These are actually the knee highs, and the reason I use knee highs is because in about
knee-high
6
nylons.
weeks, huh?
Nylons.
What do they call them? Knee highs.
Okay.
Knee highs. And then what I do is I take this and put it over the top of this here, like this, and then I twist it around. And the reason I do that is this ovary on here, I didn't show it to you, but I will. Right here, down at the base of this, you see an ovary, okay? You can see that right there, that's an ovary. And what happens is if the cross takes, that'll swell up, and you'll get anywhere from 25 to 50 seeds in it. And if you're good, you can get out here and catch them before they swell up and pop and drop the seeds all over the place. But if you're not able to get out here, you can put one of these on there. What'll happen is if the cross takes, that pod, that ovary will swell up with the 25 to 50 seeds in it, and this will actually catch all of the seeds for you. And it's nice because you can, if it gets wet in there, it'll dry out, so you can get air into it. Do not stick a plastic bag over it. If you do that, it's gonna hurt the pod there. And let me go over here and I'll show you what actually a pod looks like. The bumblebees did this one, but they're pretty good at it. And you can see this pod here, this is what you should end up with in 4 or 5 weeks. So they're pretty good size. You can see how long my finger is, and this pod's going to continue to swell up a little bit, and then it'll start to split open and then drop seeds down there. And that's why I put the nylons over at the knee highs, because I'll catch the seeds. All right, so if you guys have any questions, you can always email us. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.